Hello, this is Palico Pudge and welcome back to another Sleepy Sunday Let's Play with the game 80 Days, or, well, 82 days as it is right now. We've run over our deadline, I'm afraid to say, and we are stuck in Port-au-Prince with no way of getting anywhere. We have no options open to us right now, so, well, we know we're late. It's just a case of knowing how late we're going to be now, but that's what they say about journeys, isn't it? Or travelling in general, should I say. It's all about the journey, not the destination. And when the destination is exactly the same place as where you started, then it is definitely all about the journey. So that's what we're doing right now. But by the by, I do believe this is probably going to be our last episode. I don't know how long this is going to be. We are stuck in the middle of the Caribbean, and well, look at all that sea. We've got to get all over that. I presume we're going to be heading towards Africa, but hey ho. So yes, we are stuck in the morning in Port-au-Prince. We have no option to travel anywhere, so the only thing we can do is explore. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just have a quick look in the market, since it's just opened up. Do we have anything worth selling? A finely embroidered cushion worth 2,100 in Ponta Delgada. I have no idea what that is. Geometry equipment. Available here and in Washington. Well, we're not going anywhere else, so I might as well give you that, I suppose. A Zanimoto, an iguana Zanimoto from Haiti. An automator made with living parts. Oh, Ponta Delgada. Maybe we should find out where this Ponta Delgada is, because they like their expensive stuff there. I still doesn't help me wherever we're going. What else can we do? Atlantic timetable. That we probably do need. Peppermint tablet. Not too fussed by that. Sugar cane. There's a good chance we'll be going through Lisbon on the way home, so we'll get that. Air sickness pills? I don't think we have any air sickness pills. We do not. We do not. Why not? Why not? And yes, I think we're done with this. Let's get those Atlantic timetable opening up, I suppose, is one for a better word. Washington to Ponta Delgada. Ah, so we know where that is now. It doesn't really help us. Does this mean we're going to have to travel back north? Because if so, this is the worst timetable slip ever. That's well below us. Yeah, so you were completely useless. Thank you. Thank you. Sell you back. Sell you back. And let's have an explore. Please open something up. Thank God for that. Ooh. Does that take us to Ponta Delgada? It does. I spent a few hours in exploration, discovering the options for how we might continue our journey. Lovely. Lovely. So, how do we get there, pray tell? It's going to cost us a fair whack. Arrives Tuesday. Leaves when, though? Tomorrow. Alright. Alright. As it stands, we've got ways of making money anyway when we get there. So, we might as well do it, I suppose. We'll pass the night here. It was with a heavy heart that I watched the sun go down. 80 days had come and gone, and here we were still marking time and not yet home. As night fell, he doesn't need looking after, he's got 97 health, so let's have a walk around. I spent a few hours walking around, and very much enjoyed my distance from Monsieur Fogg. When I returned, both my spirits and, I fancy, his were much improved. Oh, we're starting to wear on each other, starting to grind down those intimate booths we've been sharing, breathing each other's sweat and man smells and the like. We'll stop there, I think. Let's get out of here. Quick. Let's get out of here. Alright, so, arrives Tuesday. Embark? Why not? The chest cavity has space for 3 suitcases, but we have 4. Oh, so we don't even get the option to buy into it. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, these are worth money. This is how we make our fare back. So, what else are we going to get rid of? Travelling cloak? £52. Stubborn, sour and prim types. Official, foreign, posh types. Artificer's book. Oh, that's worth money in Ponta Delgada as well. I think Urban Traveller set. I think we might sell the travelling cloak very, very quickly. Let's go back here. Market. get rid of you. Pull you over. Come on now. Play fair. And let's get out of here sharpish. There we go. Physically demanding and high winds, this will be a wearisome route, but the shaving kit from our valeting set should be of some assistance. Very nice. Our conveyance was a bird Zanimoto with an enormous carapace of treated wood and living coral. I petted it a little. I introduced myself to it. It's a big bird. I don't think just because it's a big bird, it's going to be any more cohesive to talk to than, say, a normal-sized bird. So I petted it a little before mounting, doing my best to pretend it was a horse rather than a hybrid living automaton with glowing red eyes. Yes, don't trust the monsters. It's all about Skynet. They're going to take us over very slowly. Greetings, Monsieur. My name is Dirac, and I am your navigator. Okay, well, what can you tell me about Ponta Delgada? Or Delgada? They grow oranges, though, I think. Okay, but can we get to Lisbon from there? I believe so. One can fly by gyrocopter from Ponta Delgada to Lisbon, and it's efficient. Nice. That's just usually a nice way of saying expensive, but we won't look too much into that. But how about Lisbon to London? Indeed, my mother saw the opening of the Madre de Deus from Lisbon to London. Oh, okay. Well, I don't think there's any need to waste any tea on him. We've got all the info we need. So that will get us to Lisbon, and then that, in turn, will get us to London. So yes, we are almost home. Zanimoto. The creature took us high into the air. We had flown before, of course, but never I had been so aware of the height. Yes, and it was more exciting than an airship. I think, have preferred an airship. We're coming to the end of our travels. I think it's still good that we embrace all new and exciting things that happen. So, and it was more exciting than an airship. To be borne up into the sky by a creature which beat its wings and shrieked with the pleasure of the hunt. And I had no real complaints until the Zanimoto abruptly stilled and plummeted towards the water as if chasing down the last slivers of fading sun reflecting in the ocean. Okay. What is wrong with it, I guess? I demanded in shrill alarm. Though no one answered, a moment later the creature tucked its legs and landed on the surface of the water gracefully. Zutalaws! We were floating! He is a living bird still, Monsieur Dirac, our navigator told me in lecturing tones. He has carried us far today, and like all God's creatures, has earned his rest. Will we simply float all night, or this is a creature of man, not God? Do we lecture the navigator? Then again, he's a navigator. He's not a pilot. So he's only sort of pointing the bird in the right direction. So let's begate him a bit. This is a creature of man, not God. You think so, he asked, with a right tilt to his lips. Nevertheless, he requires sleep like the rest of us. My friends, I do not know if birds snore, but let me assure you that birds Zanimotos certainly do. Great rattling, whistling snores that reverberate off a still ocean like a bellows. I don't think I'm going to find it curiously soothing. I'm going to let you into a little bit of a secret. Thankfully, my girlfriend doesn't watch my videos. She is snoring like anything at the moment. I am currently very, very tired. And this is because she kept me awake with her for at least 2 hours. At least 2 hours when I went to bed. Now, I go to bed pretty late. I'm more of a nighty person than I'm a morningy person. And I do have to be up at 6:30 in the morning. But I tend to get up. No, so I'll start again. I tend to go to bed between 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock in the morning. But when you've got for 2 hours afterwards, that means you don't get a lot of sleep. You don't get a lot of sleep. Oh, God. She's going to watch this one now, isn't she? I'm going to get a beating. Hey-ho. I tied a shirt around my head to cover my ears, but it did not work. I merely succeeded in looking silly and not sleeping a wink. Oh, I feel for you. I really do, Passpartout. I know exactly where you're coming from, friend. The Zanimoto launched at dawn in a flurry of wood and coral wings, spraying us all generously with seawater. Wake up, wake up! It's a beautiful morning, called Monsieur Dirac, grinning like a fool. Why are you, Monsieur, not a captain? Do not shout at Monsieur Fogg. I've actually called this out already, so I'm gonna go along with this line. Why are you, Monsieur, not captain? I replied, entirely out of sorts at having been so rudely awoken. A Zanimoto is not a heartless, mindless airship to require a captain, Monsieur Dirac looked scandalised at the very notion. It would be presumptuous. Horses have riders. You act like a captain. Yeah, I haven't slept. I'm ratty. You act like a captain, I shrugged. Only if those captains treat their ships as though they are living things and listen to them as well as command. He shrugged, clearly irritated by my questioning. Good. I rather think they do, I replied, but Dirac shook his head. Captains are obstinate fools, and I will not be one of them. Now do stop talking. Ooh, I'm a paying customer, you bastard. You can at least listen to what I think of this weird contraption which snores all through the bloody night. I've had no sleep. What do you expect? You expect me to be cheery when you splash me with seawater in the morning? Just get me to where I need to be. That's what, like an annoying, talkative taxi driver, just get me to where I need to be now. It began to storm halfway through the night, and Zanimoto took it into his head to take off into the rain-soaked gale rather than endure being tossed about on the ocean swells. I've had enough of this, but I'm just going to hold on. I held on for dear life, feeling the coral of the Zanimoto's carapace cut into my palms. It was warm to the touch, like living flesh, and I could feel the creature shudder every time the sky flashed with lightning. I have never been more grateful to see a patch of trees and dirt jutting up from the ocean. We made a clattering mess of a landing. But I leapt upon the solid ground, and I hung there in my straps. I'm feeling pretty knackered at this point, and angry and upset, and I just want to be back in London. I never thought I'd say that, being a French person, but I just want to be back in good old Blighty. I hung there in my straps for a long, insensible moment, feeling like Noah after the great flood if his ark had been a terrified beast rather than a sensible vessel of comfortably dead wood. We had only just managed to make it to Ponta Delgada. Yes, hey-ho, but we're here, which is good, I guess. Let's go to the market. Right, so we want to get rid of the Zanimoto monies. We want to get rid of the finely embroidered cushion. Lots more monies. The hooded cloak is worth something. What about the evening jacket? Englishman's wardrobe set complete. Hooded cloak complete. It was the Artificer's book, which was worth something, wasn't it? We'll sell that as well. What are you guys then? Khaki shorts, part of the Desert Traveller set, not too fussed by you. Tangle must, part of the Desert Traveller set, no, no, no. And water bladder, part of the Desert Traveller set, don't need you either. We are going to Lisbon, so we're going to keep you. We'll pop you into there though. I want to bring the ferrotype over here. I mean, I could get rid of the hooded cloak. It takes up a lot of space. I don't think we're going to be travelling anywhere urban-y anymore. Let's get rid of it. What else we got? What's the urban? Oh, my elastic wallet. I'm keeping that. Open road. Well, I mean, we may go back on the open road. We'll bring these over. There's nothing else worth buying, is there? It's all desert stuff. Hey ho. So, well, let's have an explore, I guess. Superb haggling, Passpartout. Thank you. Does that take us directly to London? It does. Ponta Delgada was the largest settlement on the volcanic island of São Miguel in the Azores. Delicate pewter automata harvested fruit, or looking out from its shores. Looking out from its shores, we could have been stood on an empty earth, on a single island surrounded by endless water. There must be people born on this rock who feel that way all their lives. Monsieur Fogg, of course, took in the pleasant environs with one cursory glance and bent his head into his almanac. Our wager is finished. Why don't we rest here? We've come so far. Ooh. Do we just hide away from civilization for the rest of time, or do we come home? We've come so far, I marvelled. I can scarcely believe it. My master looked up from his note-taking briefly. We are not in London yet, he said primly. Find out when the next airship to Lisbon departs. That's very rude. As you say, monsieur. My master focused once more upon his almanac. I paused to breathe in the scent of citrus on the way to the harbour. It lingered in my nostrils for days, long after we had departed the Azores. Yes. Okay. As far as planning's concerned, when does it go to Lisbon next? 3 days. It does only cost 76 though. Or 5.5 grand my life, and that leaves in 3 days anyway. So no, we might as well just stay here and go for the cheap option, make a little bit of money in Lisbon, because let's face it, we're going to have to pay that guy a lot of money to get back and pay off the wager and all that. If we can make more money, surely that's a good thing. I'd like to think so. Another night passed, another mark on our calendar, another nail in the coffin for Monsieur Fogg's wager. Before retiring, I afforded my master every service. I spent a few hours polishing shoes in the lobby, or I went to stretch my legs. Well, we've got 3 days here. He's got enough time to heal up, I feel. So let us go for a walkie, I guess. Who was looking... oh, hang on a sec. I went to stretch my legs and found a charming Zulu ragamuffin who was looking for a child, whom I located lurking behind a heap of cloth near a food stall. The ragamuffin thanked me, and as we talked, remarked that some buyers will pay well for sugar canes from Lisbon. From Lisbon, not to Lisbon. Do we give him a quid? Why not? Have a pound. And he nodded and then moved away. That's fine. That's fine. So we need to rest again, I believe. 2 days now, is it? 2 days. Alright, back in the hotel. We definitely can't buy sugarcane here, can we? No, sugarcane I have. Hey ho. We took a room and settled in, and... did I attend to him? Did I help the kitchen staff? Or did I engage another guest in conversation? I think I engaged with another guest in conversation. To learn what I could, learning that some buyers will pay well for sugar canes from Lisbon. I just paid £1 for that. Useful information, no doubt. Yes, if I hadn't already paid for it. Okay, one more hotel. With the last hours of the evening. Do I want to put his health up now? Or do I walk around? I'm going to walk around again. I spent a few hours walking around only to see a nervous South African errand boy in a busy argument with a shopkeeper. From which I learned that some buyers will pay well for sugar canes. Oh, bugger off. So there's not a lot going on this island. All they know is sugarcane is the bomb in Lisbon. Ugh. Alright, let's go. Yeah, sugarcane's great. The farming gyrocopter. We were given a gyrocopter ride to Lisbon by one of the local gentleman farmers. Monsieur Cortino grew oranges and corn, but my real passion, senors, is poetry. Oh. Greetings, monsieur. It is a pleasure to fly with someone so cultured. What's going on in Lisbon then? I'm very interested in Lisbon. You have lost me, friend. What? You're driving to Lisbon? How can you not know about Lisbon? Just saying. Just saying. I heard of someone who saw the opening of the Madre de Dios from Lisbon to London. Please, enough talking. This guy's rude. I want to end the conversation with him. You know what? Is it possible to go from London to Snowdon? I doubt it, but answer me this. Have you ever written a novel? Yes. A minor one. Then you should write another. About your adventures. Yeah, yeah. What do you know about London then, I guess? I'm sorry I do not follow. You know what? You're useless. We're going to have a quiet trip for the rest of the way. Did you know, remarked Monsieur Le Pilote, or Pillock, that Antero de Quantal was born in Ponta de Delgada, only 2 streets from my own birthplace? You know what? He's not interested in what we have to say. I'm not interested in what he has to say. I dislike poetry, I said firmly to discourage any further conversation. One has to be firm with poets, my friends. Even those who write short poems tend to decline at length in conversation. Ah, well, Monsieur Cortino masks his disappointment courteously. To each their own. The gyrocopter began to bank as I saw the coastline on the horizon as my stomach turned over twice. Let's throw up over the guy. However, many times we fly, I will never be accustomed to it. Oh, okay. I was hoping I could throw up over him, but hey-ho. So, we are in Lisbon. We shall sell the sugarcane. Oh, sailor's cap. Part of the seafarer's set. Or galoshes. Nice. I mean, we could complete the seafarer's set. What would be the other seafarer thing we've got then? I have no idea. Oh, well. We've sold all we can. We've made a lot of money. How much is it going to cost us to get back to London from here? Scale out. Departs tomorrow, arrives tomorrow, £220. So we're going to have £9,000. That's not too bad. We haven't spent too much. Almost broken even. We'll have a bit of an explore, though. See what's going on. In Lisbon, we sat down to lunch at a charming little restaurant with views across the Iberian coastline. The maitre d'hotel came over to our table as the waiter brought our aperitifs. "Senors," he cried, wringing his hands, "I have a great favour to ask." Yeah, senors. It's like he's screaming at us. "Well, ask it already, man," I replied, my stomach rumbling ominously. "My foolish brother, what a trial he is to our dear mother, has made a grave error, and we have 2 guests without a table." The maitre d' looked anguished. "Could we possibly impose upon you, senors, and add 2 to your number?" We're gonna ask the boss man over this, I think. So I regarded Monsieur Fogg for his opinion, and he cleared his throat. "Well then, we shall be glad to oblige," he said. The maitre d' ushered a top-hatted English gentleman and his dapper Prussian valet to our table. We were strange mirrors of each other, or I did not rate the cut of the Prussian's jacket. I'm not going to hold any sort of context when it comes to Prussians. I've got nothing against them personally. Would the French? I have no idea. We were strange mirrors of each other, though Monsieur Fogg and I clearly comprised the superior, more handsome image. Of course. Of course. Our masters greeted each other and made the particular sort of upper-class small talk which forms a gentle background murmur to a servant's ears. Meanwhile, the Prussian valet introduced himself as Diedrich and gave a hearty sniff as our appetizers were served. "I hope the food is up to Herr Montgomery's standards," he remarked. "Herr Montgomery is very particular." I must admit, our guy has been alright. He hasn't been too bad. So, a difficult master is he? I asked, with false sympathy. Diedrich bristled. "I will thank you to keep your personal remarks about mine Herr to yourself, Herr Passpartout." We gave each other a look. The sort of look 2 generals might exchange, or 2 poisonous snakes might exchange. 2 poisonous snakes might exchange when thrust into the same basket. I decided to make an innocuous inquiry and ask what the monsieurs were doing in Lisbon. "Ah, well, the thing is," my master and I, Diedrich paused to chuckle to himself, "we are travelling around the world." You! Yeah, we'll do that. I spluttered. "You are travelling around the world?" "Yes," Diedrich nodded with satisfaction and leaned closer. "For a wager?" No, I shook my head in horror. "That cannot be." "Indeed," Diedrich continued implacably. "We are heading to Tangier tomorrow, and from there to South America and across the Pacific. He went the way we went. Or at least wanted to go. Bastard." "West instead of east," I mumbled, as though in a dream. Diedrich ignored me loftily. "And what," he asked with awful courtesy, "are you and your master doing in Lisbon?" You know what? Screw these guys. They don't need to know. I decided I would lie. Told them that we were actually jewel thieves on the run, or Russian ballet dancers on the run from the Bolshoi. I think jewel thieves is a lot more interesting. Jewel thieves on the run, and in possession of a famously cursed ruby necklace which had killed no fewer than 6 of our travelling companions. But Monsieur Fogg rather spoiled my game when he cleared his throat and said, "We too are travelling around the world for a wager." Monsieur Montgomery looked up from his plate, his eyes cool and remote. "What a remarkable coincidence," he remarked without expression. "Quite," my master responded. "Let us give you some advice," and that was that. You know what? Although I don't like this little Prussian arsehole, I think we're going to help out Montgomery here. If we can't win the wager, let's help someone else win it instead. So let us give you some advice, I added, since we've just come that way. Diedrich raised one overly sharp eyebrow, but did not decline my offer. "Yes?" "Don't buy too much expecting to sell elsewhere. Markets abroad never pay well. Sleeping rough is considered perfectly safe in most of the world." That's both actually bad advice. I don't think it matters at this point. Sleeping rough is considered perfectly safe in most of the world. Diedrich shook his head. You may be happy with such measures, but we would not be. I saw my master's reaction to that. We all took our leave with awful echoing politeness, and I made sure to give Deirdre a warning look when he bowed smartly to Monsieur Fogg. Press Deirdre's hand with particular firmness. Yes, let's break that bloody hand. I think we understood each other, valet to valet. You seem discomfited, Passpartout, my master remarked, with the barest hint of a smile. I did not like that Deirdre. I did not like that Monsieur Montgomery. I never spoke to him, so we'll say about Deirdre. He had a thieving, unctuous look about him. I would not be surprised if he were a fraudster and duping that poor Monsieur Montgomery into keeping him as a valet. I crossed my arms. What sort of name is Deirdre, anyway? Passpartout, Monsieur Fogg said, with a small sigh in his voice. You are a man of remarkable depths. Okay. Or shallow, as one might say. Can we leave yet? No, not yet. Okay. Right, so, to the hotel. As night fell, I attended to Monsieur Fogg. I spent a few hours polishing shoes, or I spent a while talking to the hotelier. Why not? To learn what I could, learning that some people can be most rude. I thanked him. Yeah, well, I've travelled around the world. I know that. That's like lesson 101. Right, here we go. Homeward bound. Oh. Yeah, we'll hide the extra space. Madre de Dios. We left Lisbon aboard the Madre de Dios, an old Torres Quevedo airship with a belly full of Algarve oranges and early season cherries. The smell of ripe-fleshed fruit would no doubt tantalise me, but even such juiciness could not turn my eyes from the prize. Well, we're out of the prize, so they would no doubt tantalise me for the duration of our one-day journey to London. Who can we talk to? What is your wish, master? Why, my dear Passpartout. Journey. Do you still wish to make progress quickly, monsieur? Day 89, as I'm sure you are aware. We have been too slow. I know. Have you read anything in the Times concerning London? Regrettably, nothing. All right. Well, Bucharest, supposedly. I have no idea why. I've heard people say Bucharest is the little Paris. Very good. Very good. Monsieur Fogg looked out of the observation deck windows with perfect calm, though the wager was lost and he was no doubt ruined. I watched him closely for fear he might do something drastic. I spent the remaining time watching every possible danger, ironing or embarking on the writing of this account. We might as well start writing about it. Though I found already the details of our early adventures had grown vague and indistinct. We tethered at the airship dock in Hyde Park, and felt for the first time in 89 days the feel of English soil under our shoes. At long last we had returned to London. Relations with Fogg have strengthened slightly. Oh, well, 89 days. And we are back. We are home. Homeward. Return. I hailed one of the steam carriages idling on the banks of the Serpentine in Hyde Park. To the Reform Club or to the nearest pub? You know what? To the nearest pub, I instructed. My master shook his head. To Savile Row, he corrected calmly, and turned his face to the window. We had lost the wager, and by only a handful of days. One fewer delay, one speedier journey, and we might well have returned to London in glorious triumph rather than ignominy. Nice word. My master entered his domicile with his habitual tranquillity, though he instructed me to leave the windows shut up, so that his neighbours would not mark his return. I prepared his supper, and he ate heartily, as if he were not utterly ruined. Passpartout, he began, you have performed your duties with competence and skill. Ah, thank you. Passpartout, he said, as though remarking upon the weather. And what will you do now, monsieur? Oh, monsieur, we are ruined. Let's ask him what he's going to do now. We're sober gentlemen. Let's see what he says. And what will you do now, monsieur? I asked, trying to emulate my master's coolness and aplomb. My course, Passpartout, Monsieur Fogg interjected smoothly, is fully decided upon. We must attempt the journey around the world once more. Monsieur Fogg consulted his ledger and tapped his pen. Perhaps this time, he said thoughtfully, a more direct route? Your journey around the world is complete in 89 days. Adventurer Phileas Fogg loses wager. Fogg blames the sheer size of the world and failed mutiny en route to San Francisco for 89-day journey. Yes, I will concur with that. We tried our hardest. Although, one would argue it was his fault. It's not like he lifted a finger to help with the mutiny. I was doing all I could, and it wasn't good enough. But yeah, that did not help. We lost a fair few days there, and we would have been very close to finishing dead on time. I don't think we would have finished a little bit too early, but hey-ho. That is 80 days, or more appropriately calling it now, 89 days. I hope you've enjoyed this. This is a very good game, and as you can see, this does have a certain amount of replayability about it, where you can try different routes and different situations and different answers to those situations. So I do implore you to go out and play it yourself. It's a fairly cheap game. I do believe it's available on mobile as well, if you're that way inclined, you dirty mudbloods. And we shall, well, leave it there. So thank you for watching. As always, a like is appreciated, and I'll catch you on the next Sleepy Sunday Let's Play. Take it easy.